Hey guys, Glenn again. Today we're going to do a video on how to pack your dishes and breakables to where they're not going to get damaged during your move. Step number one is picking a proper workspace. This is actually really important because what I see with people that don't do this every day, homeowners that are moving themselves, is that they tend to maybe put their boxes on the ground or they're sitting on the couch, or you don't want a situation where you're having to do a lot of bending over and reaching for things, because believe it or not, packing will wear you out. It's exhausting. You're doing this thing over and over again. So what you want to do is you get a nice workspace like this. I've chosen this table because it's kind of waist high. I can reach everything. I don't have to bend over. I have my box here on a chair. It can't fall or anything like that, but I don't have to reach all the way down to the floor to get it. So this is actually like a critical step in being able to do this, fast and efficiently and not wear yourself out. So step number two in the process is preparing your materials. So I have some dishes here. I have some newsprint. You're definitely going to want to have lots of this. It's cheap. Use it. It'll protect your dishes. It's definitely worth the investment. I have a box here. This is a small size box. I prefer this size box, or often we'll use what's called a dish pack or a dish barrel, which is a larger box. It's got thicker cardboard walls for more protection, but typically, those get pretty heavy. If you're going to be moving yourself, you might want to stick with just a small size box. This is a 1.5 cubic foot box. It's going to work great for you. And that's really all you need to get started is newsprint, whatever you're going to pack. In this case, it's going to be dishes. I'll also show you guys how to pack glasses and other things later on in the video. But now we're ready to start actually packing our dishes and getting them in our box. The first thing that you need to do, and this is also really important, is make what we call bumpers, right? And if you want to come over and kind of take a look inside the box, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Basically, you're going to want to use these bumpers in the box as kind of a barrier around all four sides. So you can kind of take a look there and see what we're doing. But all we're doing really is taking a piece of paper and kind of rolling it up in a roll. And then we're using that to kind of go all the way around the box like we have here. We have definitely some in the bottom. We have some around the side. So now we can place our dishes inside the box and they're going to be protected in case the box gets jarred or dropped. Okay, so we have a stack of plates here. And the first thing to know about plates is that, like anything that's flat, it's a lot stronger this way than it is this way. If you pack your plates in your box like this, any kind of impact or drop, you're probably going to end up with broken plates. So I definitely recommend that once they're wrapped, you actually put them in the box standing vertically like this. So what I typically do is I take a plate. I use 2 pieces of newsprint. Again, it's cheap, right? So just use as much as you can. I take the corner, drape it over the plate, right? So I don't wrap each plate individually. What I do is put another plate in next, like so. Again, get yourself 2 pieces of newsprint. Wrap it over again. Same thing, right? Do your whole stack of plates like this, right? So I'm not going to do the whole stack, but you kind of get the picture. You can do, maybe, depending on the thickness, maybe 10 plates. So once you get enough in there, you feel comfortable, then now you can actually fold up the plates like this, right? So now you have like all of this extra newsprint kind of on the front of the plates, and I'll even a lot of times like fold it behind the plates like so. So now we have kind of a whole bundle here, and there's 2 pieces of newsprint in between everything. Then we're going to place those into the box. So we're going to want to put the plates in here vertically like this. And again, it doesn't have to be pretty. Actually, you want this excess paper, and that's going to give you the cushioning that you need. The paper itself being crumpled is what gives you that air in between the folded over pieces of paper that protects the dishes during your shipment. All right, so now we're going to do our glasses. And similar to plates, you want to think about how you're going to put it in the box. A glass is pretty strong this direction, but if you put a glass like this and I were to put that same weight on it, it's going to crush, right? So you want your glasses to be placed in the box vertically like so. And the way that we tell the guys to pack these type of glasses is what we call steak and cheese, right? You ever been to a restaurant, gotten a sandwich? They're going to roll it up like this, halfway, fold it over, roll it up again, right? So you end up with some nice padding on top, on the sides, and on the bottom, right? So once you have it wrapped, you want to place it in your box vertically like so. All right, next up is bowls. We did those similar. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. I mean, typically what I would do is just place it in the middle. And again, you want to wrap over this way, over this way. The idea is that you want padding all the way around, right? You can also do these the same way that I described earlier with the plates, which is you put one bowl in the middle, again, get you 2 pieces of newsprint, drop that over, put another one in, like so, 2 pieces over. This is probably the preferred way because you get, you know, a whole stack that way. Put the next one in and so on. Same thing, once you get your whole stack in there, then you can kind of fold it up both ways. Lots of padding. It's a nice, safe bundle that way. The bowls you can put in either horizontally or vertically. I still like vertical just because I know it's stronger that way. If you have enough padding, you're probably safe to put it in horizontally, but just for me, I like to have lots of crumpled paper. Again, neat is not necessarily better in this situation. The crumpled paper will actually prepare for any type of shock, bumps going down the road, or obviously if someone slips up and drops the box. That's the worst case scenario, but you're good to go either way. Okay, so now we've got our box, it's fully packed, and it's important to pack the boxes fully. In other words, you don't want to fill the box up this much. You want to go as high as you can go, because what ends up happening is when this goes into the truck and it gets other things packed with it, if you don't pack it all the way to the top, it can crush in, or like one corner can crush in, and that'll cause the whole stack of boxes to maybe fall over, which you definitely don't want. I see a lot of people using tons of tape on the boxes. You really don't need much tape. Honestly, you know, I go across the seam first to pull the seam in the middle of the box together with one piece. Then I do one piece across the top down the seam, and you know, it's good to go, right? You just don't need that much tape. It's not supposed to last forever. You're just moving from point A to point B. All right, the next thing that's really important, and this is what I have my guys do, is you're gonna wanna mark the box, top load only, right? Different than saying fragile. Everything you have is fragile, right? But what this tells either your mover or your friends that are helping you is that this goes at the very top inside the truck. In other words, you don't want things stacked on top of this, especially heavy things. That's how dishes get broken. As long as this box is loaded on top, it's handled carefully. And the other thing that I do is I'll test the box. I shake it, right? That sounds good to me. If you hear any kind of clinking, even if it's a muffled clink or clank, that means that if you drop this box, in the event of worst case scenario, you can hear nothing's gonna break as long as you have your box packed properly.
Fairfax Transfer and Storage, 703-550-7974.